YouTube, this is Jen, your punch picker on location in Charlotte, Ohio. And I have with me some guy I met. I just want to sit and talk with him. No, this is Jason T. Smith from Thrift Hunters on Spike TV. And just wanted to pick his brain, ask him a few questions.
What? I thought we were just here to drink.
No, I got to get you before you get too many of those down.
Oh, no.
Okay, every picker has things that they like to buy, like to sell, and then there's other things you don't know so much about.
You made him think, though.
Oh, that's easy. Kids, children's clothes. I don't have kids. I don't like kids, so I will shop in the toy section for sure. But that whole section of kids' clothes, I know nothing. I see nothing. I move on by because, and I know there's good money there. Like I talk to friends who have kids.
Yeah.
They can go in there and go, this, and this.
Yeah.
I just don't ever care to know. Because that's what kids are in the store, and they're just loud and annoying. I have dogs for a reason.
Well, they can be loud and annoying. They don't talk back though.
I have little dogs. They bark for a few seconds and they fall asleep in your lap. So.
Now, kind of to go along with that, I know my sister and I were talking about this on the way down here. Is everybody has, every picker who resells has that little pile of stuff that they keep. Not quite getting, being nice. That you know it's going to make money, but you just every time you look at it, you go. So what's in your pile of stuff?
So my pile isn't little; it's my whole house. So everything I buy that's tiki or Hawaiian goes to my whole house, and then it's full right now. So as new stuff comes in, I have a whole process. New stuff comes in, fills up the dining room table. Then once that's full, I disperse it into the house. Now I have no more room, so then old stuff has to come out. So there is a constant flux of the collection, but I started this back when I started doing it for a full-time job. I was already doing it just for me. Like I was just going shopping for me. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like, and I've always sold online since like '97. But I've always sold music. I was buying clothes and other things, and I'm like, I could sell more than just music. Because at the time, music was great because you couldn't download, you couldn't rip, you couldn't steal.
Yeah. And
then that kind of waned a little bit. But I'm like, oh, there's so much more stuff I should be buying. So my house is always a battle of keeping and selling. But I like my wife, my 3 dogs, and about 10 tiki mugs. They won't ever leave. Everything else can go.
That's
Not
good.
That attached.
That's good. Most of the stuff I buy, very little am I tempted to keep. And then I think, would I rather have the money or, I'd rather have the money.
I look at it this way, like if I ever have some major problem or I need big money with my collection, it's just big money around my house, and not in big pieces, but this one's worth 100, that one's worth 50, and I have 800 mugs, so that collection alone is worth a ton of money.
Now, I did a video on my channel maybe about a year ago, and I had met someone my husband works with, and they said, oh, what do you do for a living? And I said, I buy and resell on eBay, and they went, oh. So before the show, did you ever get that?
Oh, I still get that. Yeah, people are
so
like.
What do you say when somebody says?
Oh, I said, well, you can go, but I work for myself and make my own hours. I live in Vegas, so if a friend comes to town and wants to go drink at 3 p.m., I can do that. Somebody calls me, hey, we got a cabana at a pool. I can be there. I have no boss to answer to, and making the show, I have a boss, but usually. Prior to the show, I'm my own boss, so that's the best part.
That makes a big
and I work longer and harder than I ever have at any other job because I enjoy it every moment of it.
That's a big deal. I never understood a lot of people, being a workaholic, but when you really love what you do, it's easy to do.
Oh yeah, I like getting up early and I like staying up late to work. So.
Now, how has the show changed your picking experience? You pull up, you go in, you start digging around, nobody's talking to you. Now.
Oddly enough, if you look at me, I'm a big burly guy. I'm 6'5", 280, big beard, bald, tattoos, and oddly, for some reason, strangers always love talking to me. Now, I don't mind if somebody goes, hey, how do you get to the Bellagio? I don't mind doing that. Yeah. But, like one time I was shopping in Vegas, and I was squatting down low looking at some CDs. I saw someone this close to me, and I thought it was going to be a friend. And I turned and looked, and the guy's like, hey, I'm thinking about shaving my head. Do you do it every day? Do you do it every other day? Is it with a big braid? And I was like, don't I look like mean until I was like, go away from me. But now...
They just growl at them.
Yeah. Now with the show, everybody wants to approach me. So the one thing that's changed is shopping takes a lot longer because everybody wants to tell their story, which I love. I mean, that does not bother me at all. The guy wanted to know about shaving your head, that bothers me. But somebody wanted to share their story or their score or, hey, I found this, you know, I love that. So when my friends go with me, they're like, we're going to keep walking. And I'm like, they're like, you can't ever shop. It's every, 10 feet. Somebody's like, to share. But I love it. I love every bit of that because if you can do anything in life to make someone smile or react, whether even hate me, that's cool. I mean, just the fact that I cause
not
an
everybody
emotion.
Feels that way.
Not everybody gets that point in their life where they get to get many people at once to react to it. So I enjoy that, whether it's good or bad. Like I like my haters. Thanks, haters.
Yeah. Now that brings up an interesting point because you think when the show happened and you started getting that kind of feedback, were you surprised by that?
Oh yeah, we ruined thrifting for everyone.
Single-handedly.
Oh yeah, single-handedly. And it was funny because at the time, Macklemore had just hit right before, and look at that beer delivery. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And so somebody had responded to that hate and said, Macklemore and hipsters ruined it way before Jason's show showed up. So.
Yeah, because there's only just maybe a few items out there,
Yeah, and then this happened always online, but one time it happened live. Like somebody walked up to me at a thrift store, this little tiny woman. So you put my wife, like half the size of my wife. And she walked up and she goes, hey, I thought to be a fan. She goes, I hate you, I hate your show, and you've ruined it for all of us. And she went to walk away. I was dumbfounded. I'm like, what? And the thrift stores in Vegas are huge. They are like Walmart size, a couple of them. And so we were in the biggest one in Vegas. It's so big that the thrift store actually had to rent a third of the building out because they couldn't fill it. But it's huge. So their portion is about Kmart size. If you take the whole building, it's about a Walmart size. And so she just left me speechless, which is not rare.
I was going to say that, yeah.
I walked back up to her and go like this. I go, look at all this stuff. This is one store in Vegas that the parade of stuff coming out of the back room never ends. I can't buy all this. I can't satisfy every customer. I go, you might have to work a little harder. Like maybe I've exposed some things that people didn't know, but other than that.
See, I think too, I look for unusual, strange, different items. So you can say, hey, look what I found. And not everybody's going to run down to the corner store and pick up 10 of them and ruin
That's the other thing
got.
too. Like, we all can find Harley Davidson t-shirts, but when we find that one rare thing that we had to sell for a lot of money. Like I just found something a couple weeks ago I bought for $5 that's going to be at least $500. And the chance of finding another one anytime soon is zero. Zero. It's so awesome. I had to get it cleaned. The guy cleaning it got excited to clean it.
Wow.
So that's when you know. That's when you know something's awesome. Where the guy cleaning goes, ooh, I like this.
You know what? And no matter show or no show, that thrill of picking something up.
Well, the thrill too was when I got it. I was like, oh, let's think about $200 item, and I worked for WorthPoint. I have a WorthPoint subscription, and I did a little digging, and the last one sold for like $4.95. And I'm like, okay, that's been 4 years, nobody's had one since. I'm thinking, I'm listening at $1,000. I'm shooting for like $500 or $600. So I'm like, the thrill for me, the thrill for the guy cleaning it. I'm like, this is nuts.
And the thrill of the guy who's going to buy it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my biggest ticket item on the show, the guy who bought it has it on the end of the glass display case in his living room. So, and I'm a collector, so I understand the joy when people find the cool stuff that I've dug up. And I don't mind paying, being a collector, I don't mind paying top dollar for something that I didn't find but I want. Somebody else did the work, I get you.
See, we've talked about that too. You find something you want, you're going to pay a different price than if you buy it and you're going to resell it. Just a few more questions. I know you've got a million things going on. Nobody's asked about your wife. How does she deal with all this chaos? Or does she raise you pretty good on it?
No, she loves it. She's, I lucked out and married the greatest woman in the world. Plus now with people tracked me down in the car the other day. We were driving down the strip and a fan saw us in the car, sped up to get close. I love your show. But anytime we're out, someone wants a picture, she's always very apt to take it for us, and she's very happy to do that. She's actually my best thrifting partner, even though she hates thrifting. But she's good because she knows about half the store. So when I do convince her to go, we'll do the tchotchke stuff together because she does the lower shelves. My wife's very short. But then she can go do t-shirts and dresses and bras and lingerie, things I can normally do, but then I can go do other things and we can finish the store in half the time.
So when you come in and you're talking, she's going and finding all the good stuff.
Yep. And then plus, she's the only thrifting partner that I can have sex with, so that's the other bonus.
Yeah, keep it that way.
Yeah.
If you only had one type of place you could source from now on, what would it be?
Very specifically Savers thrift stores. And people always give me shit because they're a little more high priced than others, and I'm like, all Savers across the country are clean, organized. They don't pack their racks so tight that you can't shop like Goodwills do. They all have a bathroom. They're all air conditioned. I used to love digging when I was younger. I still dig, but now I'd rather just be inside and air conditioning. I gotta go pee-pee. I can just walk over to the bathroom. They always have a bathroom for the customers. So anywhere I go in the country where there's a Savers, I am there shopping. That's why we put like 12 of them on the shelf between the 2 seasons. So I'm very content there because I find enough good stuff for myself too. So
the neat thing is, you have to say hi to my son Connor. Hi Connor. Last year his summer job was cooking. He does electronics or video games. He made he's 16. He made close to $1,000 last summer. And he was just telling one of his friends, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna go garage sailing with your mom?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be flipping burgers this summer." So
I always think if I was in college now, how much easier it'd be to make money. Like back in college then, you would have to go to a job and then go to class and do your homework. Like, well, if I can pick for the weekend and just let things sell on eBay, I'm like, awesome.
I mean, he is getting
I see people
really
doing
good
that, and I'm like,
yeah.
To be able to make money. I mean, we barely had computers back then, but now it's just so easy.
And my son, he says, "You know what? I can get my phone out of the garage sale and look something up because I'm just some dumb teenager on the phone." And he goes, "You can't get away with that." So I'm like, "Yeah." Okay, so last thing, thrifting in Vegas, thrifting here in Cleveland. What's the difference? What do you see in
So it's actually very huge, and my mom always talks about it. Here, everybody lives in their grandparents' house. At some point, they're like, "I'm done with this furniture." So here you find all this cool, this century modern stuff and all this great vintage stuff. In Vegas, everybody's moving there to be the next hot bartender, the next hot showgirl, the next hot strip performer. And then when it doesn't happen in 3 months, they just drop all their crap at the thrift store and go.
Yep.
And you see so much new stuff, new tags in Vegas. My mom's like, "I never see it here." I go, "Yeah, but you see all the cool old stuff here." So that's why I like thrifting around the country, because every city has its pocket of kind of this different than the other. But in Vegas, new stuff all the time on the racks.
All the stripper shoes.
Oh, the most gigantic bras you've ever seen.
All those shows. Well, I guess that's all I had for you. I really appreciate you taking time out.
Thanks for coming to hang out.
Yeah.
Welcome to Chardon. Welcome to the Bev. We are drinking at the Bev on Friday night at Maple Fest.
So hey, I mean, at this point, you gotta subscribe to me. I mean, I'm getting celebrities now. Okay, leave me a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. See you next time. Bye.